Before we get into responding to this first Ask the Minister question, I just want to let you know you've still got a few days to get your questions in. October 7th is the deadline, but I thought I'd start addressing them as they come in so that they just don't all pile up. First up, this question. I am getting married soon, and I am not sure if I'm doing it for me or my family. I really like my partner, but how do I know I'm in love and marriage is the next step? That's a big question. And first of all, I'm sorry you were in this place of perhaps doubt, uncertainty, maybe some anxiety around your situation and your relationship. First off, I can't tell you how to know that you're in love, but there's a lot of things to unpack here and a lot of factors at play that I want you to invite you to spend some time with. First of all, being in love, what does that really mean? We get a lot of cultural ideas about what being in love means and how it should feel. It's informed by songs, it's informed by movies and TV shows, it's informed by other people's narratives, it is informed by the story we have around growing up, and around the importance of marriage. So all of these things play a part in how we feel. Another piece of it is how long you've been in the relationship with your partner. If you have been together for 2 years or less, you'll probably instill what we call the new relationship energy. This is where the endorphins are surging through your body. You're excited. You are, I don't know, maybe obsessed with the person a little bit and the relationship. If you've been with this person 2 to 3 years or longer, some of that has died off and it doesn't feel as exciting anymore. That doesn't mean you're not in love. It simply means the endorphins have sort of settled. If you're within the first 2 to 3 years, might not be the best time to make life altering decisions. Because again, with the endorphin surgeon, you may not be thinking straight or seeing the full picture. If it's 3, 4 years longer, you do have a clear sense of what you want in this maybe, but also you're further in and it's harder to make maybe some choices that your partner or your family might not be on board with. So, where you are in terms of the length of relationship is something to factor in. Your gender, your identity, and how old you are things to factor in as well. For example, if you are a woman in your late 30s, early 40s, there's a lot of societal pressure and family pressure and probably pressure you put on yourself to get married. Marriage is seen as the culmination of a successful relationship. And unfortunately, there is more pressure on women than there is on men to be married by a certain age. So that's another thing to factor in as well. In terms of marriage being the next step, this is a good time to talk about the relationship escalator. Relationship escalator is this like cultural script, very monogamous based by the way, that says, first you date a bunch of people, sometimes at the same time, you settle down for one person, you guys date exclusively for a little bit, then you get engaged, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house together. If you were in the city, maybe you move out to the suburbs. Like there's this path that we are expected to follow. It's very unconscious, right? There's families buy into the pressure of it, and we sometimes buy into the pressure of it as well. And what's interesting about the relationship escalator is that we find ourselves in positions that we kind of really don't want to be in, or given ourselves the time to think about, what do I really want for my life? It's okay to get off the relationship escalator because you're the one you have to live with for the rest of your life. It's okay to say, I may not want this path for me and it will disappoint others, but you need to be clear for yourself if that's the path you want to follow. Perhaps it is, but perhaps your partner and your families are a little further along in the escalator than you are. They're moving faster than you are. That's okay too. And it's important to say, I am not there yet. I also think one of the things about marriage is that sometimes we phrase it in the sense of what we will be giving up as we move up this escalator. So perhaps We might be thinking, I get married, I lose some of my autonomy as a single person. Now my life belongs to someone else. Maybe I lose some of that sexual agency around what's happening. I Sometimes we frame it in terms of what we might be losing, and that causes us anxiety. I do want to refer you to Esther Perel's work on eroticism. She has a great book called Mating in Captivity. Highly recommend it. But the idea of eroticism has really nothing to do with romance or sex. It's really about what makes us feel alive. And at the beginning of relationships, we feel very much alive. Therefore, it feels like a very erotic experience. As time goes on, like I mentioned earlier, some of that aliveness mellows and we don't feel excited anymore. And we think, I don't know, should I stay in this? Is everything okay? Am I okay? Is the relationship okay? What Esther Perel invites us to know that this is sort of the challenge we find ourselves in. We love a person dearly and we want to stay with them, but we don't feel that same sense of aliveness. And she really invites us to take a look at what makes us as individuals feel alive and to really find those things outside of the relationship as well and feed the eroticism to ourselves so then we can feed it to the relationship and not look to the relationship to provide that sense of eroticism and aliveness. So these are all things to factor in, to think about. And last of all, I'll say this: trust your instinct around this. And when I say your instinct, I really mean your body. Your brain can tell you what's right and what's wrong, but your body really tells you if you're okay with the decision in front of you. So if your body is really saying to you, I don't know that this is right for me right now, take a pause, take a beat, dig into some deeper questions around what you want, around what your partner wants, and what you really want, not what you should want or expect yourselves to want at this time in your relationship, however long it's been, but what do you really, really want? And if you really don't know what you want, I suggest, again, taking a pause, taking a beat, and figure that out. Now, you said in the question you're getting married soon. I don't know how soon is. That could be next week, that could be next month, that could be next year. And there may be a lot of people disappointed by a decision to, I need to put the brakes on a little bit. And I understand the pressure of that can be keeping you in this situation. However, I think it's important that both you and your partner go into this on the same page and that you are both honest with yourselves. And that's going to be a really challenging, vulnerable conversation to have. One, I recommend you have an impartial third party present to help you navigate that conversation. I'm available, or you can find yourself another good couples therapist or relationship coach to help you out with that. You don't have to navigate this by yourself. You and your partner don't have to be in this by yourselves either. So I hope this answer helped, and please reach out to me if you need some more information.